Hi you guys, it's Mrs. Avery. I just had a very good conversation with a friend of mine, and I wanted to share a bit of information. Whenever I am speaking with someone and they might have an issue, so to speak, so I just put it out there, maybe somebody else can benefit from it. So the question is, are your children, now your students, are they struggling with reading comprehension? You may want to try narration. Narration can be key to reading comprehension. Narration, what is that? Them narrating back to you a story or a passage. This works like a charm. So if you can imagine, I know many of you all are doing lessons online that you've been given from your teacher. So when your teacher gives you, they tell you to go to the website or whatever it is, or even from a book, and they're doing reading comprehension, the child knows that they're going to be questioned about it. And that can be very intimidating to almost anyone, right? So instantly you're like, oh no, I got to remember this information. What you try having them do is narrate the passage back to you. It can be key because a lot of people say, oh, they read and then they're not paying attention to what they read. Sometimes that might be. But they can't answer the questions after they've read a passage. So here's what you do. Try, after they read it, allow them to tell the story back to you in their own words. Once they've read it, so they've seen it, now they're going to read it out loud. They're going to hear it, and now they can tell you back in their own words. For example, Sally ran across the street. That's the passage, right? And so the child knows what they read. They know it. They've heard it. They know it, and they comprehend it. So you tell them, okay, the question may say, who ran across the street? Well, they know Sally. But in order to get even more out of them, you ask them, what did I just say? Or what did you just read? And they can say, well, there's a girl. Her name is Sally, and she ran across the street for whatever reason. Now they've reiterated it to you. They know it, and now they're so much more comfortable answering questions. Being questioned about something can be very intimidating, especially for a child. We do this at our home all the time. It enhances what they've already been given, all right? So try it. Narration, when you narrate a passage, just by speaking it, you're speaking it into existence, right? And now it's much more personal to them. I know it might sound a little like, well, listen, you might not be able to sit with them and do all of their work, especially if they're on computer and they're reading a particular passage, and then they have to, then they're responsible for answering these questions. Get a sibling to listen to them reiterate it back. If there's no one, have them reiterate each passage, however often they have to do it, to get it out into the open, okay? As long as it's being said out loud, that's key, okay? If your children are not struggling with this and they can just read something and right away, answer any question, that's great. But if they're struggling, narration can be key, all right? I don't know. I think that's about it. I wrote down a couple of things. I wanted to get it all in. That's it. If it's not helpful to you, pass it on. Share it with someone. Maybe it might help their school week go well. All right, y'all have a good evening. Bye.